Welcome to the Hive Hustle, the captivating podcast where we delve into street culture, whether that be dancing, roller skating, crump, hip hop. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and get this video into the algorithms for me.
It's official now, the Hive Hustle Podcast about to sit you down. Go and fix your crown, this ain't a grain of salt. Pick your brain and thoughts, even through a major loss. Still remain a boss.
But today, I got this great guest. His name's Troy. He's a dancer, director of a crew. He's been in the Vegas dance scene forever. HHI, World of Dance. Y'all have won many different things. Yeah. So I got him here. He was okay with meeting with me. And welcome, man. Thanks
How's it
for
going?
Coming through.
Yeah. No problem. I'd like to say it again. Your space is tight. I appreciate it. I appreciate making time for me, especially with the busy lives that we lead. So thank you. Genuinely
Definitely,
appreciate you, man.
Hey, we've known each other for a minute. I taught at your studio back in the day, and we've seen each other throughout the scene. And I just want to really dive into who we have in our culture, in our hip hop culture, in our crump culture, in the funk styles, whatever there is. There's stories out here that people don't ever see, and I want to put them on wax.
Appreciate that.
First things first, who are you?
Yeah.
Well, who's Troy? Like, how'd you start to dance?
So I started dance the typical hip hop story, like in a garage with a friend. We pretended to spin on our backs and stuff. His name's Chino.
I remember those days.
You think you're messing around. I used to be a part of a thing called Key Club at Durango High School. And Key Club was a bunch of Asian kids, and we all thought we could dance. And we didn't take it very seriously, but Chino was very passionate about it. And so through his passion, I found mine. I joined a team called Epiphany. For any of the OGs out there, Epiphany is one of the original dance crews here from Vegas. Boom was the director, and props to Boom and Chino for really making me fall in love with it. I didn't take it seriously. It was just a fun thing to hang out with friends at, but that fun thing turned into another team called Formality.
I remember that team.
They're from San Diego. Our old director created a Las Vegas branch here under AJ Angelis, and then myself and Aldrin helped AJ throughout the time. I mean, it was a team effort. Mike Perez was part of that, Adonis, Toshi. There's a lot of us that were just in that
I think
group.
Butta and Swift were a part of that too for a little bit, right?
I don't know. I don't think they were technically a part of it, but they definitely were integral to everything here in Vegas. The whole scene, how Toshi, how Mike came through. They definitely helped. I don't want to say but I don't think they ever
were a part of Formality.
Yeah.
I know that they were a part of Hypnotics for a little bit, but besides that, maybe Culture Shock. But Formality was a big crew back in early 2000s, from my understanding.
Yeah, it was Formality and a all-girl team, all-female team called High Fidelity or Hi-Fi, and we were brother-sister teams, just wanting to compete. We competed at different things here in Vegas, SIO. Hip Hop International. No, we didn't even do Hip Hop International with Formality. It was really just a lot of training, some Cali comps, but it was the foundation of what I did. From Formality and Hi-Fi, we felt like both teams were very strong apart, but we would even be stronger together. So we combined both teams to make a team called High Profile.
Got you. So that's where High Profile originally came from, was these two teams. And I never knew that.
Yeah.
And another reason why I'm doing this, because I'm dude, I don't even know the full
Where
culture
did HP
of
come from?
I've always wondered.
Yeah.
That's dope. Okay.
It was just filling a need. There was a director change in Hi-Fi, and Aldrin and I were pretty stable as directors. We were committed. We committed our whole life to HP, and we felt like the girls needed the support, and we could have supported them. Not that they needed the support, but they wanted to, take things to the next level. And so did we. Yeah. So we felt like the strength
Together,
from the girls and the strength from the boys, we combined.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
And we created a team called HP. From there, I think both teams just kind of disintegrated and turned into just HP. From there, a team called Ground Zero birthed. It's just the junior team of High Profile.
I remember Ground Zero.
And directed by Orion, Ramey, and Peter. And from there,
Peter.
It just took off. Yeah,
he a bartender.
Gizmo P Funk, right?
Yeah,
bro, that was
man.
He taught me so much, not just dance, but
and what's funny is a lot of people in this scene, they're like, they were an integral part of our community, but they went on and did their own thing. And now they're like looking at us like, wow. Like, think about it. Like, I remember battling Peter at Neon in 2013.
Did he have the hair?
None. That was after that.
Oh my gosh.
That was after that. Because it was me and my friend Crooks versus Trey and Peter in the finals at Neon. And everybody booed us because we won.
Oh, shoot.
I remember that. That was fun.
He was probably coming backstage with me feeling all hype because he was probably performing that weekend too.
Yeah, he was. He performed with HP.
Tight. All right. Yeah.
So now, obviously you started out with Formality. Well, the first crew, that was like just garage. But what oomph in your chest gave you the ability to be a director? Because that's a whole different role. Being a dancer and being a director of a crew is two totally different things.
Oh, for sure.
So what do you feel was challenges going into that, and what made you want to be a director?
Everything that I've before I went to church, it goes a little deep, but it's surface level at this point.
Hear.
But I was part of a church back then, and as a leader, you're a servant first, and because of my faith, I found that there was a need. There was a need on this team, and it was a little bit of personal, like, I don't want to lose. I see what people are doing, and I want to elevate. Yeah. So I started creating, and I created a lot. My old teammates, they'll probably make fun of me because we do these things called submissions. You're only supposed to make one routine.
Yeah, and you make like 5.
Then I make like 6 or 7. And if they didn't like it, I would revise it and send it back the next week. But
you were determined.
Well, think of it like this. If we're fishing and I cast out one line and say there's no fish in there, I don't get any fish.
You're still going to put another
I'm going to put 100 out,
yeah.
and one of those is going to catch. And if one of them catches tight, I did my job.
Yeah.
And that was really all I did was I just kept pitching ideas. And I didn't care if it stuck or if it didn't. I just wanted to make sure that the best content got put out and the best product that I could put out. Thankfully, and from there, I needed to really
Welcome to the show, let us all begin. Introduce a new approach to evolve and win. Taking lead, never stop, can't fall again. Took heed and watched who I called a friend. On a swivel.
Not everyone was bold enough to put their ideas out, or they didn't have the way to say it. So in order for me to say it properly, I needed to train harder. So I took every class that I could. I didn't care who it was from, what style it was. I trained in everything, popping, locking, whacking, housing. I took everything. I was in every class of when I first started, and I tried to get into every class that I could. Okay. That was a long time ago, and people might not know that, but I took 6, 7, 8 classes a day.
Really?
Yeah, I was really pushing, and the only reason I used to work at Nike, and all my Nike paychecks went to just dance classes.
Dang.
Because I wanted to prove myself. My ideas were there, but the talent didn't fit the ideas.
Yeah.
And I saw that in myself, and I needed to work harder. And that passion just, it overwhelmed me, and I needed to. I guess people looked to me for answers because I had ideas, and I wasn't afraid to put it out. And from there, I started putting people into spots. We started winning. So when you get a result, people are like, okay, he's doing the right thing. And I can't take even all the credit. It's a team for a reason. Aldrin was the backbone to HP. And Peter, Orion, Toshi, Mike Perez, Raimi, Greg, Marisa, there's so many pivotal people that were a part of HP that I can't even say as a director, if the responsibility falls on me. Yeah. But there was so much history and so much help that those people gave to me that made it bigger than what we imagined at the time.
Yeah. HP is an integral part of the Vegas community, man.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Real talk. Now, how do you, being that you choreograph 7, 8 routines in a day to submit them, what's your creative process in choreographing? Like, how do you go about it? Like, I see some people, like I talk to, they'll choreograph sitting down.
Yeah.
Some people, they have to be in front of a mirror to be able to choreograph.
Yeah.
Like, what do you feel like your process is, and how did you come up with that process?
To be transparent, there needs to be like a focus. So I can't present apples when they're asking for oranges. So I can't create choreography for a tour that I would create choreography for a competition routine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't teach a class piece as a competition routine.
Yeah.
We have to.
There's definitely a focus.
So the first thing I do is categorize. Like, what is this routine for? And once I know what the routine's for, then I go, all right, is it competitive? Is it what's the audience? Where am I distributing this?
Yeah.
This,
is it fun? Is it content?
am I teaching to 5-year-olds or am I teaching to adults? You know, there's a. I first make sure that how I am creating is delivered to the right
audience.
Correct. Yep. And then from there, my personal process is I freestyle. I think people think choreography is like kind of bland because, you know, it's not technically dancing. But for me, I freestyle everything before it even hits 5, 6, 7, 8. So I play the song over and over and I freestyle it. And whatever that freestyle tends to like continually do, I stick. Okay. I keep it. And more importantly, like not just the freestyle aspect of it, but the moments in a song. You know, like people go, "Hey," or "Hey, that was dope," or "Ooh," you know, you want that visceral emotion. You want people to like respond. Yeah. And the same thing with the freestyle battle, or same thing with a competition routine. I want people to respond to the choreography I'm creating, and there's moments that apply to that. And so when I'm creating, I apply the moments and then freestyle in between. And once those freestyles connect, then I have 8 counts of routine. It takes me like 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Wow.
Because if you're freestyle enough, you're going to remember your stuff.
Yeah, it's going to repeat itself.
Yeah, and you probably have your go-to moves. You have your things.
Everybody does. And that's what when I create choreography, that's what I deal with is I feel like it's my problem because I have go-to moves. Yeah. So I try to think totally different, and then I'm struggling because I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. But what you're saying is making sense. Freestyle it. How you feel is going to come out in the choreography anyway. Yeah. Like when I was doing Jesse Sykes' episode, I said something, I inform, not perform, right? Because I want to tell people who I am. Yeah. Well, that could be a way for me to tell people who I am in a choreography sense too, because I'm freestyling the choreography and I'm really putting my all into it. That's crazy.
What people don't understand is that a lot of choreographers are just freestylers. They just have to put it in a they have to put it into a box so it can be delivered
and it can be understood,
right?
Yeah.
A lot of freestyle is in the moment, and this is why people are so prideful of it. I don't want to say prideful like a bad thing. They should be proud of it, right? Yeah. But it's because it's that moment, and once it's gone forever. Yeah. So the beauty of choreography is that it can exist not just from me, but down my line, down my lineage.
It's a legacy. Yeah.
And to your point of like maybe we're repeating moves, I get that all the time. I feel repetitive at times. The best thing for me that has helped me eliminate repetition.
Yeah,
words.
I get you. Yeah.
The best way to eliminate repetition is to apply the move differently. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's the same movement. Start point, end point, but how we get there just changes syncopation wise.
Not what you do, how you do it.
Yeah, essentially.
Dang, okay, that's cool. Okay. Now, obviously we know that you're a dancer. We know that you do videography. We know that you are creative in general. Yeah. But outside of all of that, you're a husband and a father.
Yeah.
How do you balance? Obviously, we just spoke about it before we started filming. Yeah. How do you balance, and what do you feel is your biggest challenge balancing your personal life and your professional life?
You know, the most difficult thing is scheduling, making sure that things are allocated for the right reasons. You've said it before this podcast, but you said that it's good that you come here because you can focus on the work. Yes. And this 9 to 5 or 3 or 2,
whatever
however long
you do,
is dedicated to this thing. For work, when it is work, my wife and I know that this is a block that is intended for work.
Yeah.
So we tandem, right? I could not do anything that I do without Marisa.
Yeah.
She literally holds this whole like compound together, whether it's scheduling, like we have a calendar, and if I don't abide by the calendar or it doesn't go in the calendar, it doesn't exist. It can't happen. So if I need to
hey, for anybody that is married in a have a calendar. Yes, yeah. I tell everybody, people be like, how do you do what you do? I'm like, look, man, if I didn't have a calendar, if I didn't have something to wake up to and be like, okay, this is what I have to do today, I wouldn't get nothing done. Nope. That's the biggest thing.
And it helps me too, because I can plan ahead. Like I can go, oh, look, I have to be here later. I should probably think about doing that thing. And so my focus is focused.
Yeah.
And if we don't have that focus, we're kind of just landing wherever
we're
we want.
Freestyling.
You know. But yeah, for real, like that calendar helps me. But it's also like when it is family time, everything goes away. It doesn't matter what we're doing, where we're going, who's around. When we have family time, it is just our time. And so there's no work. We're off our phones. There's no, I need to type out something really fast, or I need to edit this thing really quick. It's like, no, okay, we'll wait till these kids are asleep, and then we can finish our work.
Yep.
So usually most of my like work happens after 10 o'clock when my kids are asleep.
I feel like that's any parent. Or you're getting your free time to play the video game after they're asleep.
I don't play video games.
See,
I wish I had the time, bro.
I literally just bought a PS5 and I barely touch it, bro.
Yeah, it's so tough.
I bought it for my son, to be honest, because he loves like Minecraft and Roblox.
So he kind of bought it for you. You kind of.
Don't get me wrong. I love Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, bro. Yeah. I realized I bought the game. The same skateboarders are popular now.
Yeah.
That were when I was a kid.
Swear.
It's Tony Hawk, Kareem. Sorry, that little noise kind of confused me. Eric Costin, like a lot of skateboarders when I was a kid, when I skateboarded tough, are still like pro.
I used to play that game heavy.
Like me too. So I'm like, that was the game. So I'm like, okay, well they got a new one. Let me just get it.
Tight.
But I still have no time to play it.
Yeah, dude. Where is it?
Literally.
Where?
Now, so you told me, I personally feel with that question, your main thing was focus, right? So obviously you have to be focused. You have to focus on the right things and have the right route and right game plan. Can you now provide me an example of like a challenging situation you faced with working with dancers, with working with an agency, with working with anything? And how did you overcome that?
Oh, shoot. That's, you know, the most difficult thing about being a teacher is people. And as a business owner or former business owner, that's wrong. I still own a business, but it's it's not a studio. It's not a studio.
You just don't have a brick and mortar location.
Yeah.
But
Our
besides that, you're still an owner.
It's the people, you know, struggling to get people to understand that, like, I'm with you, you know,
not against you.
Yeah, and sometimes things can be taken out of context or said the wrong way on both parties, and ruins relationships. And that's been like what I've been working on for the past 3 years is communicating effectively and making sure people understand not just what I'm doing, but why I'm doing it. And I found better results because people know my heart. Yeah. And I do my best to be as genuine as possible to everyone that I talk to. Like the conversation I would have with you, if I were to leave this room and go,
it'd be the same conversation.
Oh, Mafioso, blah, blah, blah. No, bro, if I'm going to say that, I'm going to
say it to you. Yeah.
Exactly. And that can get you in a lot of heat, you know, like in general. But
I'd rather be
what I've learned is grace in my heart and grace in my speech. And whatever I would say to you behind your back, I would say to you to your face. And I tell all my kids this: if I'm giving you a note or I'm giving you a correction, or if it's a parent, if I'm telling you your daughter or son is struggling in my class, it's not coming from a place of anger or disdain or hate. It's coming from, I love you and your kid so much that I cannot lie to you. And now that parents and dancers know that that's my heart, that I'm being tough because I love, they can now, I pushed a lot of those conversations away because they know why, or my heart. And I struggled with that at the beginning of business owning, And as I progressed, the more that I learned to have grace and explain my heart, how I feel, what I'm doing, the better people respond to me.
That brings a subject to my mind is transparency.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing I worked on for a long time within myself is just being transparent in me. You know, like when I was younger, I was really big on like, I don't want people to know my personal life. I don't want people to know what I'm going through. I want to put this face on.
Right.
And faking it till you make it is probably the worst advice I've ever received in my life because you can't do it. You can't. You have to be honest with yourself. And as long as you're honest with yourself, you can move forward from anything you go through. And throughout so far this whole interview, I've noticed that you, if anything, you're determined.
It's official now. The Hive Hustle Podcast about to sit you down. Go and fix your crown. This ain't a grain of salt. Pick your brain and thoughts, even through a major loss. Still remain a boss. Resonate with greatness. Celebrate creators. Ain't no blanket statements. Elevate and claim it. So amazed, I'm making the way for those in need. Mold the lane, showing change in the growing me.
But transparency is a big thing. Sure. Like when I was the leader of One Round and I was really big, like involved with dance and tough and like at every session, at everything. Yeah. The problem that I had was really like, I wanted to be perfect. Yeah. I wanted to be looked at as that go-to guy.
Right.
And the moment I realized that I was human and that I can't be the end-all be-all of everything, that's when I realized that, wow, this is a way better position to take as, hey, I don't have all the answers. I'm honest with you. I'm just doing the best that I can, and I'm going to give you the best route that I can give you. And when I realized that, it changed a lot, you know? And I would say for the last question, man, like, what's the future plans for Troy, for you and your wife? Do you guys plan on getting another building? Do you guys plan on expanding a playground? Because obviously you guys are at 150 kids now. You know, like that's insane. Congratulations on that, by the way. Like, what's the plans? Like you guys have won HHI, am I right?
Yeah.
World of Dance?
We've won World of Dance.
So what's next? Like, you guys are freaking, like,
I think, I don't know. I do know, but the more important thing that I want to do is keep impacting, and it's not about reach, about numbers. Like obviously, like
that matters.
It matters, but if I am too focused on growing, that I lose the sight of who's in front of me. Sometimes the vision gets very blurry as it goes forward. My goal is not to have like 1,000 dancers. That obviously anyone would want 1,000 dancers. It sounds great. The more important thing is how much impact can I make to the single dancer, or to the small group, or to a larger group, and then expand on that. A couple of things that we're really focused on right now is our studio, Evolve Dance Center. We teach hip hop there. We run all their hip hop numbers. That is our big focus right now. We're really trying to provide the best routines, classes, tricks, all of it. We're trying to build a foundation there. Playground's pivotal in our life. We're taking a new adventure. It's called All-Star.
Okay.
Not a lot of people know what All-Star is, but if you don't know, also we teach a team called Desert Oasis Dance Group.
Yeah.
We won national champions. Yeah. And that's only in the high school. You have to attend Desert Oasis High School to be a part of that DDC. Crew. Yeah. So there's hundreds of thousands of dancers here in Vegas that don't go to DDC, but also want the experience that DDC has.
So you guys are doing something. Okay.
So Playground is taking a venture to do All-Star, which is what DDC does. We have our competition route, regionals, national, state, and Playground, again, focusing. This is my ultimate goal, is impact a single dancer so that multiple dancers become better over time, and then hopefully get some national championships this season with Playground. And then, of course, Desert Oasis Dance Crew, like I just mentioned, they we're going to recompete for our title as national champions, and Again,
Dang,
focus on
man.
the single dancer, build off of each relationship that I have, and make the best thing possible.
Man, this has been a great conversation. We've had some hiccups, but we got through it.
It's the best part.
One thing I am grateful for is the conversation that we've had. One thing that I took away from it is that you impacting one dancer, that's great. You could use that in many different aspects, impacting one client. Like, it just impact over growth is more important. Because I just posted it on Instagram the other day. This year, I focused on building relationships with my clients instead of trying to provide a service.
I see.
Does that make sense? Like, even if they only want a simple one shirt, like, I'm going to build a relationship with that person to try to let them know that they're important. Let them know that even if it's $35, I care about it, And it just goes to show that when you focus on the relationship building and how you're impacting that person day in and day out, you're going to be more successful.
I think it's also important, like what I do with all of it.
150%.
And anything that I do is how I do anything.
Yeah.
So if I am recording a podcast with you, I brought both of my cameras
Yeah.
and a microphone.
Yeah.
I was about to bring some lights up in here
Yeah.
too, and that's just how I treat everything. My
yeah.
relationship with this kid is not just, hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. Walk away. It's like, hey, what'd you do today? Did you go to school? What'd you learn there? Tight. Awesome. So good to see you. Can't wait.
Yeah,
and
you're
I have
intentional.
that relationship, and as we build these blocks, the relationship just grows.
Yeah.
And we think that kids are just a number, but out of all 155 kids, I can tell you their name, what they do at school. Do they like Pokemon cards? What's their favorite color? What Fruit Loops do they like with their what cereal?
Yeah.
And I think that's
important.
very not so like it's integral.
Yeah.
We call it important, but I call it a non-negotiable. That if I don't build a relationship with the people that I'm consistently colliding with, what am I doing it for?
Yeah, that's really good, man. Hey, well, on that note, that was a great ending comment. So we're going to go ahead and end it. We're going to go ahead and move forward. Do me a favor. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications. Follow him and his crew. We're going to keep doing this, man. This is only episode 4.
Jeez.
So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's get it. Have a good one.
Tight.
It took us a minute. But
We got there.